Hello grade 9 students. Welcome to another virtual class. I am Miss Madhu Vadke. We are studying chapter 7 triangles and we have learned some criteria for congruence of two triangles. In the very first video we learned three criteria, that is side angle side angle and angle side. In today's video lesson, we will learn two more criteria for congruence of triangles, that is SSS and RHS. To say that two triangles are congruent, all three sides of one triangle should be equal to the corresponding sides of the other triangle, and all three angles of the first triangle should be equal to the corresponding angles of the second triangle. That means there are 6 parts that must be equal to show two triangles congruent. But do we need all 6 parts to say that two triangles are congruent? We had seen in the very first video of this chapter that we don't need all 6 parts. We just need 3 parts of these two triangles to be equal. And that is how we learnt about 3 criteria: SAS, ASA and AAS. Recall that in the very first video we also saw that if all 3 angles of a triangle are equal to the corresponding angles of another triangle, then this does not necessarily mean that they are congruent, because it is possible to draw triangles of different sizes having angle measure same in all these triangles. So let's consider a triangle is constructed with 3 given sides, and a second triangle is constructed with sides having same measure as the sides of the first triangle. The only difference is that the second triangle is having a different orientation. Can we say that these two triangles are congruent? We can check this by overlapping these two figures. So we will have to rotate this figure and we see that the second triangle completely covers the first triangle. This means that not only the corresponding sides of these two triangles are equal, even the corresponding angles are equal. So all 6 parts are equal and therefore these two triangles are congruent. So what was the minimum information required to say that these two triangles are congruent? We just need 3 sides of one triangle equal to the corresponding sides of the second triangle. And this criteria is called as side-side congruence. If 3 sides of one triangle are equal to the 3 sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent, and hence it implies that 3 angles of the first triangle will be equal to the corresponding angles of the second triangle. So if the first triangle is named as triangle ABC and the second triangle is PQR, then side AB corresponds to QR, side BC corresponds to PQ, and side AC corresponds to PR. So symbolically we can write triangle ABC congruent to triangle RQP. Now consider 2 right triangles, triangle ABC and triangle PQR. Triangle ABC is constructed with base given as 4 centimeters and hypotenuse 5 centimeters. Triangle PQR is also constructed with the same base and hypotenuse, and each of these triangles are right angled triangles, so one angle is 90. So triangle PQR is drawn with the same measure However, its orientation is different from that of the first one. So in order to check whether they are congruent, we need to overlap. And to overlap, we need to flip this triangle from left to right. But flipping or inverting is possible only if we have a cutout of this triangle. But I can always check whether the corresponding angles and sides are equal or not. So RQ is equal to BC, PQ is equal to AB, and PR, that is hypotenuse, is equal to AC. Now let's check the angles. Angle B will be equal to Q because both are 90. You can check by overlapping. Now let's check angle A. So it shows that angle P of the second triangle is equal to angle A. And angle R is equal to angle C. So this shows that all three angles of triangle ABC are equal to the corresponding angles of triangle PQR, and all three sides of triangle ABC are equal to the corresponding sides of triangle PQR. So we can say that these two triangles are congruent. But what was the minimum information given to us to construct these triangles? We were given hypotenuse, one side, and a right angle. So if in two right angled triangles, if we know that the hypotenuse and one side of one triangle is equal to the hypotenuse and side of another triangle, then we can say that these two triangles are congruent by a rule called as RHS. R stands for right angle, H stands for hypotenuse, and S stands for side. If in two right triangles the hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are equal to the hypotenuse and one side of the other triangle, then the two triangles are congruent, and hence we can imply that the remaining angles and sides are also equal. So angle B corresponds to angle Q, BC corresponds to RQ, and AC corresponds to PR. So we can write triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Now let's apply this knowledge in solving questions of exercise 7.3. Question number 1. Triangle ABC and triangle DBC are two isosceles triangles on the same base BC. So what is given to us? Since triangle ABC is isosceles and the base is BC, we can say AB is equal to AC. Similarly, isosceles triangle DBC also has same base BC. So we can say that BD is equal to DC. Vertices A and D are on the same side of BC. We can see that from the figure. If AD is extended to intersect BC at P, then show that we have 4 paths to show. So what is to be proved is clearly listed. Look at the first part. We have to show triangle ADB is congruent to triangle ADC. Let's find 3 paths that are equal in these two triangles. AB is equal to AC, that is given. BD is equal to DC, that is also given. And the third side AD is shared by both the triangles. So we see that all 3 sides of red triangle are equal to the corresponding sides of the blue triangle. So let's write down in triangle ABD and triangle ACD. AB equal to AC, BD equal to DC, and AD equal to AD, common side. So we can say triangle ABD is congruent to triangle ACD by side, side, side. So if these two triangles are congruent, then we can say that their corresponding angles are also equal. That is, angle BAD will be equal to angle DAC, as they are corresponding parts of congruent triangles. This implies that angle BAP is equal to angle PAC, because it's given in the question that AD is produced to P. So if these two angles are equal, we can call them as angle BAP and angle PAC. Let's mark these angles as angle 1 and 2. Now we will prove the second part. So consider triangle ABP and triangle ACP. We are given AB equal to AC. We know angle 1 is equal to 2, proved above. And AP is a common side to these two triangles. So what do we have? In triangle ABP, and triangle ACP, we have angle 1 equal to 2, AB equal to AC, and AP equal to AP. So two sides and an included angle of one triangle is equal to the corresponding sides and included angle of the other triangle. So which rule do we apply? Side, angle, side. So symbolically, triangle ABP is congruent to triangle ACP by SAS. Now let's prove the third part. We have shown that angle 1 is equal to angle 2 earlier. So this implies that AP bisects angle A. Now to show that AP also bisects angle D, let's number these angles around D. So let this angle be 3, this be 4, and this be 5 and 6. Can we say that angle 3 is equal to angle 4? Yes, because these angles belong to triangle ABD and triangle ACD, which we have proved congruent earlier. So angle 3 is equal to angle 4, as they are congruent parts of congruent triangles. Which triangles? Triangle ABD congruent to triangle ACD. Now notice that angle 3 and 5 are adjacent angles that form a linear pair. So angle 3 plus angle 5 will be equal to 180 degrees. Similarly, angle 4 and angle 6 also form a linear pair. So angle 4 plus angle 6 will be equal to 180 degrees. Since the right hand sides of these two equations are equal, we can equate their left hand sides. So angle 3 plus angle 5 is equal to angle 4 plus angle 6. But we have shown that angle 3 is equal to 4. So we can cancel the equal quantities in this equation. This gives us angle 5 is equal to angle 6. But angle 5 and angle 6 together make angle BDC, and they are equal. This means that AP bisects angle BDC. Now the fourth part of the question is to show that AP is a perpendicular bisector of BC. We have already shown triangle ABP congruent to triangle ACP. So we can say that BP equal to PC because they form corresponding sides of these two triangles. So BP equal to PC, congruent parts of congruent triangles. Which triangles? Triangle ABP and triangle ACP. Let's mark this as 1. We can also say that angle APB is equal to angle APC because they are also corresponding angles of these triangles. Let's number these angles as 7 and 8. So we can write angle 7 equal to angle 8 because they are corresponding parts of congruent triangle. Which triangles? Same triangles that we have written above. But angle 7 and angle 8 form linear pair. So their sum should be equal to 180 degrees. Let's equate each of these angles to a variable x. So x plus x will be equal to 180 degrees. 2x will be equal to 180 degrees, or x is equal to 90 degrees. So this implies angle 7 and angle 8 each is 90 degrees. Mark this as 2. So from 1 and 2, what can we infer? BP equal to PC and angle 7 and 8 are 90 degrees. So this implies that AP is a perpendicular bisector of BC. With this, we come to the end of this video lesson. Try to solve this question as an assignment. It is based on the concepts that we have studied today. See you in the next class. Until then, goodbye.